Hi, I'm Bob Keesaer, architect with the City of Louisville. Louisville has many interesting and important streets, from Broadway and Main Street to Muhammad Ali. However, before mega shopping centers and large multiplex cinemas, it was 4th Street which served historically as Louisville's central area for entertainment and shopping. 4th Street was the host to many wonderfully designed theaters and department stores, which provided a dramatic and engaging public experience. In this episode of Renovate Louisville, we will look at 4th Street's past, its present, and its bright future once again as a unique urban environment. For many, 4th Street in Louisville means 4th Street Live. And undoubtedly, the entertainment and bar scene is what sticks in the minds most with those who visit. However, there is more to 4th Street than only 4th Street Live. In fact, the Galleria turned live entertainment strip is only a piece of the street's history.
Well, it was clearly the center of town. All of the major movie theaters in town were located along 4th Street. The major shopping, department stores, specialty stores were either on the street or immediately adjacent to it. At high season, if you will, like Christmas or Easter, the crowds on the street would be so great that there really wasn't room on the sidewalk. People would end up stepping off into the pavement because there were so many people on the street shopping.
4th Street is more than just a collection of nightclubs and classy restaurants. If one looks deep enough, a history of commercialism, civil rights activities, and even one monk's epiphany all happened along this street.
This was a major civil rights element in history to Louisville and to the country. And right up the street, the University of Louisville has put the first marker in to tell that story of the sit-ins on this street, because this is where all the retail used to be.
Today, 4th Street Live greets guests to a grandeur of architecture. But for many years, something was missing to revive the street, until recently. 4th Street wasn't always restaurants and nightclubs. At one point, before people took to the suburbs, South 4th Street was the commercial hub of Louisville.
4th Street was the retail center of the region. So it functioned just as major malls and shopping centers do today, as regional shopping destinations. In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, this was it. If you were anywhere in the region, you would come to 4th Street to shop.
Multiple stores and theaters lined up and down South 4th Street using creative window designs to catch the consumer's eye.
As you walk up and down the street, you'll notice recesses, specialized entries into storefronts, often with terrazzo. So sort of at the height of that era in the 1950s, almost all of the major storefronts had specific designed entrances.
I love our windows. We have 20-foot storefront windows on either side, so it's 40 feet of space that we get to play with. So myself and my merchandiser, Amy Weedle, have a lot of fun decorating these windows, and it's great to see people walk in and browse and see what we have before they come in.
The recess entrance, of course, had the advantage of maximizing storefront windows, so that you were allowing all kinds of walking and shopping, window shopping up and down the street. Every store was vying with the other for attention, and one way to do that was to have these beautiful terrazzo sort of welcome mats that came out into the street. Unlike most paving, it can be very specifically colorized It can include names, logos, street addresses, all kinds of cast-in information that is reasonably permanent. It can achieve a high gloss if you wanted to. It can also be relatively rustic. There's no question that that is the character-defining element of the street, just by virtue of the quantity of those that survive along the street.
Some evidence of this bygone era still remains, but many of the stores and theaters that once lined the South 4th Street corridor are now gone. But all that has begun to change.
Our board of directors got interested a couple of years ago about bringing retail back to downtown in a unique urban way. So the board said, look, go out and do some research on this. Do a market study and tell us whether retail can work downtown. The market study came back much stronger than we thought. It basically said you can double your retail sales if you have the right kind of retail in downtown.
It would be easy for a national retail chain or a restaurant to locate along South 4th Street with plenty of pedestrian traffic to attract customers. But for something as much of an icon as Louisville's 4th Street has become, lining the street with carbon-copied, out-of-the-box storefronts would almost be a disservice to the historic street. Instead, the Louisville Downtown Development Corporation is taking things to the next level and keeping the spirit of Louisville true to its roots on South 4th.
Well, we have a store down at the Galt House, and so for the past 5 years, and we've seen a ton of people come in from out of town and want other places to shop, and there just hasn't been anything within walking distance. So that was kind of our original idea of coming down here to help revitalize a part of Louisville that used to see a lot of traffic and shopping and restaurants, and it's been kind of a dead zone.
So when I first moved to Louisville, I was really kind of surprised that we didn't have more local shops downtown. So I think that coming from Philadelphia, it really did inspire me to know what, you know, a full downtown can be like, and you know how much I went shopping in downtown Philadelphia and other people did. I think it inspired me to bring that to Louisville.
Every chance we get to connect to the history of South 4th Street, we will. And we think in the end it's going to be a great place for the older generation to come back to and see and feel and touch, and for the young professionals because it's going to be cutting edge. It's going to be creative people doing creative things.
You'll have great neighbors down here. We're all a family. I love my neighbors. Everybody's got a different perspective on their shops down here.
Well, I think it's very essential to have a support among the retailers because it just isn't as much of a draw if you just open one shop.
When you've got 67,000 dedicated people and you've got about 1 million people staying in hotels at any given night in downtown, that's a heck of a market that is a dedicated market. I mean, that's in downtown. It's not going to during the day and then at night. It's not going away.
South 4th Street isn't only for tourists looking to sample what Louisville has to offer.
Being in business 11 years, we've got a lot of regular customers, which we love. Being downtown, we have a great number of people from the hotels, conventions, and then there are a ton of people that work downtown that are really excited. So it's great around lunchtime from 11 to 1 or 11 to 2. We had a great rush of people that are business people that work downtown that maybe are going to a party after work that need to take a present or a gift for, or that don't have time to do any shopping during the day and they hit it on their lunch break. So we get a lot of locals during the week too, so it's great.
We really think it's important for it to be authentic and to have a meaning and a relationship to the local resident.
The hope is also to change the perception of South 4th Street in the minds of Louisvillians.
I think we want to encourage a diversity of types of business so that there's a variety of things here that attracts a broad segment of population. I think you want to have enough restaurants and or entertainment experience, that you have an evening connection as well as daytime. I think you want to encourage folks to live close by.
I think that it's an untapped market down here, especially there's a couple new hotels going in, the new restaurant here on the corner. I think this area is poised to come back to be what it used to be the center of downtown. It's going to connect downtown to Old Louisville.
We really do get a lot of traffic and a lot of walking traffic, and I feel like it'll just continue to grow. So if you were another business owner that was interested, I would say, you know, the more the merrier, because I want more and more to happen down here.
Just like in the past, one day when someone mentions 4th Street, the ideas of bars and entertainment and fabulous shopping will all come to mind. South 4th Street's goal of again becoming the ambassador for the heart and soul of our city has begun. Local stores carrying merchandise, some even created by Louisvillians, is what separates South 4th from other strip malls.
Downtown is made up of all these eclectic neighborhoods. And this is going to be a very thriving element within those neighborhoods.
The idea of an authentic experience that's based on traditional shopping streets, the Magnificent Mile in Chicago being probably the best example close by, is just a wonderful, diverse experience that more and more people, especially young people, want to have as their shopping experience, as opposed to a mall, which is what they grew up with, and they find now is not as interesting.
I do think we have, to a certain extent, come full circle. A lot of towns and cities across the country are trying to bring back areas like this. We made a conscious decision, and we knew that this would only work if we clustered, if we had a shopping district, an urban, eclectic, creative shopping district that can't be found anywhere else. And we want people to wake up in the future, 5 years out, or even sooner, and say to themselves, you know, I've got some spare time today, it's a Saturday, I worked hard all week. Let's see, do I want to go to the mall? And in some cases that may make sense. Or do I want to go downtown and have a different experience? And we want them to be able to say, oh, I'll go downtown and have a different experience.
Bookended by the hotels and 4th Street Live acting as a doorway, the corridor paints a picture in the minds of those who visit and reinforces the identity of the city the locals love, keeping Louisville local, original, and yes, even a bit weird. Thanks for joining us on this urban adventure, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Renovate Louisville.